I've worked one full-time job in my entire life. It was customer service in a complaints department, and I only worked there for around 6-7 weeks. Yet every week there would be at least one woman who would take one of these calls, literally just stand up with tears down her face and like have to run off to the toilet, and maybe one or two girls would go with her to try and help her. They would get abuse, like harassed. This kind of shit only really happened to me like once with one guy who was like, you know, being mean to me, and he was like saying shit, but like to be honest, I was leaving the company very, very soon, so I was saying shit back. I was just like, no, it was kind of equal, right? So I never experienced like being uncomfortable by someone. And this was actually, I think, one of the managers who this happened to when I saw this, right? She actually told everyone to listen to the call. So all calls are recorded these days in customer service, and you can like listen to it. So we all started listening to it. And she's speaking to what I assume / remember would be probably like a 45-year-old man. He kind of sounds like he had low testosterone. Like he didn't sound like a fucking, like, you know, like big confident voice. He wasn't a happy person or anything. He was just a fucking like creep. And so they're speaking about like the company, or, you know, he wants a refund or all this bullshit. He's being like, you know, a bit rude. And then out of nowhere, when she's speaking, the guy on the phone just says, "I bet you have nice tits." And so I hear my colleague say like, what? Excuse me? Like, no, please don't speak to me like that. And he goes on and on and on. Now, technically you're not supposed to like hang up on the customer like almost with anything. Like you're supposed to do the of like, "Oh, but sir, if you carry on, then I'm gonna have to hang up and I'm gonna have to report." Like you have to say that type of shit, right? When you work for daddy, like when you work in a f***ing company, like you have to follow. Obviously, like, let's be honest, like she should have just hung up, right? But no, I'm not even blaming her. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, this is almost my rant for just I just hate full-time jobs. I hate fucking companies. I hate this bullshit of like, you've got to follow rules and you're not allowed to fist bump. It's just stupid shit, right? That's a side rant. This is why you've got to become a entrepreneur and like be your own daddy. But she was obviously very, very uncomfortable with this, and it was just a like, I can't, that's the only phrase that I can remember, like, for 100% fact. He said, "I bet you have nice," like, in a creepy way. And he just kept on, like, describing it, and, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I have, like, a big stomach for this kind of shit, right? I'm not, like, easily made uncomfortable. I truly, truly felt uncomfortable. Like, I felt so sick, like, for her, and I was like, what the f***?